So you were talking about Bill and how he made the whole theme of Chaparral.
Bill Claxton was our director on the pilot, and he had been previously working on Bonanza, and when the Bonanza executives decided to do the Chaparral pilot, Bill was asked to direct the 2-hour Bonanza, which we did and did very successfully, and we became, the following year, NBC ordered shows to be put on the fall network. Bill was then asked or convinced the people that he would also produce and direct. So he produced every show and directed, I would say, an average of 50% of all the shows the first year.
Yeah.
And it was my feeling that Bill, with Bill's input, that really made the show creatively.
You're talking about Chaparral?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He really had a feel for it. He had a feel for the cast. He loved the locations in Tucson. But it was Bill's input and foresight that really put that show together creatively.
Yeah. And how did everybody feel about him?
Oh, loved it. There wasn't a soul, crew, cast, everybody, because he worked with everybody. And he, for the crew, he tried to make it as easy as possible. It was not fun working in the desert. Mm-hmm. And, but he helped you out any way you could.
Yeah.
And had a great creative mind.
Yeah.
He was originally a film editor. That's how he started in the business. So he understood what editing and what it would look like when it was edited.
Well, Kent, he had a moviola in his room, remember?
Finally, he had a moviola. He would stay in Tucson. We would send our film back to LA to be processed. The editor would put it into a first cut. We would send the first cut down to Bill, and then he would look at it on a moviola in his apartment in Tucson. And I went up there one day, and he's got a whole string of paper clips attached to his belt, and he's dragging them on the floor. He put together a chain. So I said, "What the heck is that for?" He says, "That grounds me. I don't get, if I start working with a film in the moviola, you can pick up a shock from static electricity. So this grounds me." He says, "I won't get shocked." But he was a great guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Susan, what do you remember about?
I loved Bill. Bill was great. Bill loved my dad very much. He always thought that the music made his show feel like each episode was like a little feature, and he really admired him. And then when I got to work with Bill on Little House, it was a lot of fun because, you know, Bill didn't have much patience, and we had a lot of children in Little House. And he didn't want to wait until 3 o'clock till school was out. So he would want there to be, you know, the kids to come and have a school teacher, you know, because we had to have somebody be with the kids, a guardian or a whatever it was. And anyway, when I came aboard, Bill was used to having the other casting director, the previous casting director who did the first year, couple of years. He got his way, and the kids came in after school because Bill didn't want to come in early. Well, when I started,
it's the other way around.
what?
Bill did want to hang around. The kids came in late.
See.
Excuse me.
Let me tell you, Kent knows everything. but he's absolutely right.
That's why he's the producer.
That's why he's the biggie. And he gets the big bucks, too.
That's right.
But anyway, it's true. He didn't want to stick around. You're absolutely true.
If you take a child out of school,
Right,
you must provide a teacher to teach it.
right,
You can't say, "Okay, come in and just play hooky from school."
right.
By law, you have to school them while they're there, at least for 3 hours. So they would come in at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, have school, go to lunch, come back, and be ready for Bill.
Okay.
Well, guess what? I started working and things turned around because I didn't want to bring in a school teacher. I wanted to get the kids in when they were available, and it wasn't necessary to have the company pay for somebody come to school them or be with them. And so the first time I had children in, I said, Bill, I just want you to know that you're going to be here at a different time than you're used to. And he said, is that right? I said, yes, that's right. Well, I don't like that, you know. I said, I know, but that's the way it's going to be. And he said, well, you better bring some good kids in or I'll never forgive you. But he said it under his breath, you know. He would not just blurt it out like that. It was just, and that next day, he came in and we cast a couple of really terrific kids. And one kid, I remember he went on to do some wonderful work. I'm trying to remember him, but I remember the next time we had to have a casting meeting, he said, I'll be here bright and early. And I said, terrific. And he said, you know, your dad must be proud of you. And I will never, ever, ever forget that, ever.
Wonderful.
Yeah, he is really a very special man. He really was.
That's
And the great thing in a casting sense is when I first worked with him and brought in some of the cast members like co-stars or featured players, not the regular cast, he started bringing in he wanted to bring in the same people for another show that he did because he liked them so much. And that made me feel really good that he really liked these new people that he never had worked with before, because he always tended to be asking for actors who he had worked with over and over and over again because he felt secure with them. And this made me feel very good,
Wonderful.
too. He was really terrific.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Don, what about you? What do you remember about Billy?
Billy Claxton was, he was a little man. He was a short guy. But he had the presence of a guy about 7 feet tall and weighed about 300 pounds. And just one of the sweetest guys. And there wasn't anything that he could ask any of us to do that we wouldn't break our necks to do it for him. And I remember that high fall Bobby did for him off that building. I don't even know if Bobby got paid. I suppose he did.
Oh, yeah.
And Billy asked him, Bobby said, you bet, I'll get up here and do this for you. He did. And Bill Claxton just had that kind of charm and charisma that he was just a wonderful guy, and you'd do anything for him. He could ask you to do, well, you wouldn't kill yourself, but you'd come down.
But he knew what he was doing, too.
Knew what he was doing exactly.
Every bit.
Yeah, and he knew what you could do. He knew the limits of his people. So he wouldn't ask you to do anything that he thought was something you couldn't do. And he was just one of a kind, that guy. Well, two of a kind with our production manager, yeah.
Let's figure it out here. He also,
Wait a minute, hey, wait a minute there.
Wait a minute, are you going to lean in? Come lean into the shot.
Bill's character, he was a very quiet guy. And he would hum a lot. And it's just under his breath. So he was nicknamed for a long time the Hummer. Then he used to have a stick with a knife and he'd be whittling something, and nothing but just, so he became the Whittler. So he always had a nickname, you know, and he'd laugh about it, but he was fun. He had a good sense of humor.
Yeah.
And that was the best part.
Yeah.
The best part of Bill was that if you did something to make him laugh, you felt really good, because you felt like you really were funny.
Yeah.
You know, because he wouldn't really smile a lot, but then something you would do or something you would say, and and he would go, and he'd walk away, and he was just delightful. He was just delightful, and you said you would do anything for him. I think it worked the other way too,
Sure.
because he did whatever he could to make things easy for everybody. He really did.